New checks for plant and animal goods from the EU came into force on April 30th. The government has accused business import goods from the EU making deliberate and criminal errors on key documentation in a bid to avoid new Brexit border charges. So if the government already know that people are deliberately doing this, yes, so the government should carry out proper investigation, and who is found guilty should be made to pay the penalty that comes with disobeying the law. But on the other side, it equally shows that the government need to address these border checks or these border charges, because for the importers to be deliberately wanting to avoid it, it means that the money they are asking them to pay is not funny. And it equally means that at the end of the day, it is the consumers that will be at the receiving ends, because when the importers are paying higher charges, border charges, they are in business to make money. It means that they will be equally be adding it in the consumer goods they are importing to be able to regain their money and make profit. And at the end of the day, it is the consumers that will suffer it at the end of the day. So what does it tell? It means that the incoming UK government have to do whatever it takes to address these border charges. Yes, and to address the long awaiting time that the drivers that are bringing goods have to wait at the borders. Because the last thing the UK don't want since this Brexit now is for drivers within the EU to start opting to drive goods to the UK. It won't be funny for UK as a country and its consumers. In a notice sent out to traders this week, the government said it had been made aware that some traders and logistic companies were repeatedly filling out forms incorrectly and vowed to crack down on the behavior. It comes just weeks for the government brought in new checks for plant and animal goods coming into Britain from EU. Is one thing to crack down on these people, is another thing to issue out the required punishments or make them to pay the fine that is required for them to pay for doing it deliberately. But it is equally another thing to review these border charges. Yes, and if need be, reduce these charges so that anybody or any company or business owner or logistic companies that are found guilty of doing it deliberately should be made to pay a bigger fine. But you cannot ask them to be paying extremely charges on the borders, which is far higher than what they are supposed to pay, and they are doing this. Then it means that on the side of government need to reconsider these border charges.